Welcome to Charts Today. My name is David Linton, and today's edition for Thursday, the 13th of August, comes to you from London. And we see a bit of a mixed picture here, quite a bit of red on the screen. So it's just interesting that at first glance you see the colours for the day, and we start by looking at the dollar, and the dollar actually was recovering quite well this week, but it's just turning bearish again on the short-term chart. Remembering this is my long-term, medium-term, short-term view, weekly, daily, and 60-minute, with the associated point and figure targets as well. So with the dollar, we are just back into falling away there, and if we look at the euro against the dollar, that shows that we are just turning bullish on that short-term chart. So euro is looking stronger again, dollar weaker. On the yen, we're sitting at 106.74. We've been at this 107 level against the US dollar for now about 5 months, so really quite significant there. And sterling holding the 130 level against the US dollar as well. And if we look at the sterling euro chart, we see here sterling is starting to look weaker there again. Taking a look at Bitcoin, we're sitting at $11,500. Not a lot of change here over the last 24 hours, but we are still looking bullish on these medium and long-term charts. The S&P 500 index did actually manage to make a new high yesterday, but didn't manage to close at that level. So we are just now nudging this previous high that we saw in February. So that is quite something for the US stock market. And of course, the Nasdaq is already through that level some time ago, and it was down 0.75%. But there were some big performers, which we'll take a look at in a minute. The Dow was up 1%, and if we look at the futures this morning, we've got the S&P future virtually unchanged, and the Nasdaq E-mini up very slightly. So on that basis, it currently looks like the US will open flat today. The VIX volatility is sitting at 22.28, so it's actually still in bearish territory on the short and medium term charts. We are still much higher than we were at the start of the year, but we have seen an improvement in the volatility. Obviously, the volatility falling is good for stocks. Looking at the FTSE future, we're down 0.75% in the UK, and the DAX cash market is down by 0.13%, so little change there. The CAC Current is actually up 1%. The Japanese market was up 1.2%, so that's looking more positive now, and we are seeing a cross back into bullish territory there. So Japan is looking pretty good. The Hang Seng was in the doldrums. The Hong Kong market still in long-term bearish mode, although short-term looking a little bit better. And if we look at the Chinese market, little change there as well overnight. The Sensex in India was down 0.25%. It's still a long way from making new all-time highs, and we're only just getting to above the cloud. We want to see a few weeks really holding above that cloud. The Aussie market was down 0.2%. So it's still looking bullish on the medium and short-term charts, but the long-term charts has a lot of work to do. The resource-laden economy, of course, Aussie will be affected. The gold chart is back to 1928, so we really did plunge there. We got below 1900, recovered a bit yesterday, so we are still short-term bearish, but medium and long-term very, very bullish. And the key thing is if we make new highs, we activate new upside targets. Silver fell away heavily yesterday as well, but we are seeing it didn't touch nearly $30 an ounce, so really significant, and we are now just recovering, so strong recovery there. Also, interestingly, the US 10-year bond yield chart has really perked up this week. We've gone from nudging 0.5% to 0.2%, so it's really looking much stronger on that front. And all of this really is coming down to hopes for a virus. If we look at some of the Nasdaq stocks, if we just rank by performance here, the best performer was Tesla, up a massive 13% overnight, so really significant there. And if you look here, we've outperformed the market by 400%. That's a 5-fold increase in the last year or so, so really quite significant. AMD were very strong. They're up 7.5%. Qualcomm up 6%. Nvidia up 5%. Again, really rocketing there. So Nvidia just straight line performance from March from 200 to 450. So again, outperforming the market by 200%. So some really amazing moves there on tech stocks. Taking a quick look at the energy mix, Brent crude sitting fairly steady at $45, just struggling to really get motoring beyond that, and WTI 42.50. US nat gas holding $2.18, so looking still pretty good, having held those gains of last week. Storage numbers will be key today. Coal falling back to $56, so that's quite significant. We're seeing here just falling away, so the coal price is really just pulling all the way back. Emissions sitting at 26.23. Again, the key levels here 25.50 and 25.13, and of course this low 24.82. We are just seeing a little bit of a failure there in emissions. Looking at European gas, UK gas MBP sitting at 19.98, just can't quite get back above that 20 pence per therm level. Dutch gas sitting at 7.38 euros. This front month, and winter gas actually sitting at the 11.68 level. Taking a look at German power, we're sitting at 39.40. So we are just looking a little bit weaker there as well. So that's quite key as well. So we see here we're down 0.5% and right on support at the moment. So power markets in Germany quite key there in terms of breaking support. And we do have downside targets, and we are just nudging that 39.30 euro mark at the moment. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.